What is up everyone, it's the Baron back again with some more ideas, and this time it's all about Levolution and concepts about Levolution maps. First of all, I'll talk about the gameplay a little bit. It was a struggle, it really was. I was playing the objective more than I was trying to kill people, just because my team was losing so really terribly, and I was just really trying to make a comeback, but it just did not come together for me. The reason I chose Monolith on Scavenger, it's because it kind of relates to what Levolution is really, so we'll get right into it. As we've already seen on Siege of Shanghai, the city building completely collapses during a battle, and leveling the ground and putting up a large dust cloud to hinder the sight of players. Now we can all agree that everyone, including non-Battlefield players, were amazed of what the DICE team has done with the new Frostbite 3 engine. I was certainly blown away with the new concept of being able to change a map on such a large scale. This immediately got me thinking of what else they could do with other maps, changing up the field to work or to not work for your team. The first idea that came to mind straight away was with the naval combat concepts only on large oceans, and you guys probably know what I'm thinking about. It's the concepts of storms, changing up a gameplay on a whole new scale. Just imagine you're in your attack boat or air vehicle fighting an enemy when all of a sudden a big storm pops out of nowhere, which hinders your sight, throws your vehicle orientation out of whack, and forcing you to find alternative routes or abandon the fight altogether. And of course, it's not limited to the naval and air. This could also be put into infantry-based combat as well. A hurricane suddenly appears, forcing players to avoid high winds and take alternative routes, or thunderstorms that can cause large flashes of light to disable players' sight for short periods. This would be an amazing concept to put into Battlefield 4. My next idea is taken from the Aftermath DLC, or this DLC, in Battlefield 3. I was so disappointed when it was released to find out the earthquakes did nothing but shake your screen and put you off for a little while. Now don't get me wrong, the DLC was so much fun, but seriously, just big letdown from all the trailers and the hype. But just think what they could do now with Battlefield 4, creating earthquakes that actually change up the battlefield, creating cracks in the ground, making buildings fall on players, stopping vehicles in their tracks, all before the players' eyes. Now, dynamic weather or dynamic environments has always been a hot topic when it comes to Battlefield 4, and to me the weather should be randomly triggered. However, I can see the concept of having certain player triggers making the environment change on command depending on the situation. For instance, it's a great deterrent for spawn trapping. A team who holds all the flag and is just not letting the other team get a flag can be offered a trigger of environmental change in their favor. It can also be triggered if a certain objective is captured or taken. A solution to balance this out would to make a trigger a random type, so that you'd never know if the change would take place, or rather than players knowing if they capture a certain point, a dynamic weather change would happen. For the most part, weather and natural disasters are not player choice based. The player has no input of triggering Levolution weather type. So I will move on from this and go on to player triggered Levolution like Siege of Shanghai. There are already a few ideas out there by Battlefield YouTubers like Luton, where his idea was to have an entire water dam collapse and utterly change the field of play. Or Matimia, I think it was, who said the Golden Gate Bridge in San Fran completely getting destroyed or changed up. And I think those ideas are great. They're perfect. They fit perfectly into the Battlefield universe. However, it is also highly obvious, and I'm going to try and take a different approach to the ideas. Now, I had this idea. It doesn't sound practical, but I'm going to tell you nonetheless. Open map, large mountains, and I mean large mountains, like huge mountains. My concept of Levolution is letting the player be able to make large avalanches. Just think about it. Just one big avalanche that flattens everything and changes the whole field of play, like where flags are located. It removes vehicle progression because of roads under snow, and it also negates campers. I like this idea. I could actually really see DICE putting it in the game. But tell me what you guys think. Would you like to see that in Battlefield 4? My final idea for a large-scale Levolution concept is a map based around a missile silo. What would happen is the battle takes place around a control center and the actual missile itself, and players have a choice of activating several consoles to send a nuke that misfires and explodes close by, giving that sort of like story behind it. Players would be able to see the explosion and feel the shockwave as it passes through. The explosion does not kill anyone, please note that, like most Levolution concepts would, unless, you know, the building falls over from the shockwave. And the shockwave. The shockwave would also render areas inaccessible due to the buildings crumbling at the effect, and the explosion will create a dust cloud that could negate vision. Now I don't know about this one. It's a more different approach to the standard shoot and watch it crumble. Whereas this is where if you have all consoles triggered by an action by players, the battlefield changes. As I said, it's weird, but sometimes weird concepts work. Now that's out of the way, time to get the small stuff that can make Levolution better. In Battlefield 3, you play Russian Metro and you're about to attack the second MCOM, the second set of MCOMs, and then that scripted scene happens where the jets fly over and destroy the floor, and so you can jump in. Now, I really like to see more of those scripts in multiplayer in the actual game. The reason is they are real. Don't be fooled. These explosions do kill you if you are too close, and I think it's that small stuff that makes the game believable. Scripted scenes would be a good addition to the game and can change the Battlefield for better and worse. I have a few ideas on what could be included in the game. Some really cool, some are kind of stupid honestly, but it doesn't hurt to give suggestions. First on the agenda is, as before, scripted jets flying in fast with payloads to destroy certain buildings or areas, I'll say. Now the best trigger I can think of is having SAM launchers on the ground overlooking where the scripted jets would come from, hence creating that purpose of a SAM launcher protecting that certain area. Now the only way to trigger the jets are to destroy the SAM launchers, and there it is, plain and simple. The jets destroy the building structures, killing players close by and also changing up the battlefield at the same time. It's a win-win. Another scripted event could include the battleships in the background actually engaging certain areas on a map with tactical missiles, destroying buildings and negating areas' vision. If you realize in the background from Battlefield 3, you had battleships shooting your tactical missiles and stuff, but I'm not sure if it might work. One, the battleships are included in Battlefield 4 now, as the commander can use missiles, attack missiles. The second problem with that, it would really suck being killed by something that shouldn't be killing you. You just think you'd be running around and then all of a sudden a missile hits you out of nowhere. Where the hell did that come from? That doesn't make sense. And also, thirdly, I would have no idea of how players would trigger something like that. So this is an idea that nothing more than can be built on. It can be built on. It's an idea that can be built on. Now just to clarify, players do not get points for triggering scripted events. The concept is there for just adding that random factor to the battlefield, which all players should be aware of, just like in real life. There is so much more to talk about in Levolution concepts, though honestly I think I'll be here all day. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed watching. Please let me know in the comments below, and a like and a subscribe wouldn't hurt either. If you have any questions or ideas about Levolution, or just in general about Battlefield, let me know and I'll definitely get back to you. Thanks, see you guys later.